Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ibrahim Sakbalaji and I'm the founder of Webpage Technologies. In this tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you the basics of HTML, how we can create our first HTML document and view how it actually looks on our browser. If you're new to this channel, do not forget to hit the subscribe button for more awesome content like this. In this tutorial video, we'll be using the Visual Studio Code text editor to use to write our codes and output them on our web browser. So I'm going to launch the Visual Studio Code, and when you look at it here, we have the file, edit, selection, view, go, run, help, and terminal. So I'm going to go to the file here and I'm going to go to open folder. When I go to the open folder, it's going to bring out a dialog, and I'm going to choose the desktop. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to the new, and I'll click on the folder. So I'm going to type in introduction to web development, and I'm going to click on enter, and I'll select the folder. So the Visual Studio Code is going to prepare our workspace, and this will allow us to add some new files, new folders, to refresh our Explorer, and of course to collapse our folder. So now I'm going to click on the first option here, which is the new file, and I'm going to create an index.html file, and I'm going to click on enter. So this is going to allow us to write into the index.html file. So the first thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be explaining the type of tags we can use in our HTML, and the most important ones to create our document. So I'm going to have the less than sign, and I'm going to have the exclamation, then I'm going to have the doc type. So when I press enter, the text editor is going to auto-complete it. So what the doc type HTML tag does, that is tells the browser the type of document we are trying to open is an HTML document, and that's the reason why we are including it in the start of our line of code. So in the second line, we are going to have the HTML tag. So any other tags wrapped around the HTML tag will be treated as an HTML file. So now I'm going to have the head tag, and this head tag is going to have some other tags wrapped around it. So one of the tag is the title tag. So the title tag, whatever message we enclose between the title tag is going to be displayed in our browser title bar. So let's take, for example, now we have our first web page. So when we launch our browser, we are going to see this text over our browser title bar, and that's how we use it in our HTML. So I'm going to launch this using the live server to see how it actually looks on our browser, and if we are on the right way. The head tag can also contain some information using the meta tag. The meta tag allows us to put some information, more descriptive information about our web page, such as our keywords for the search engine optimization. So now we have our first web page on our HTML web page. So now we have so that's the reason why we are using the text inside our title. Whatever we write inside is going to be displayed in our browser title bar here. So right here under the head tag, I'm going to include the body. Inside the body, anything written inside the body tag is going to be displayed inside or within the main frame of our web page. So in today's tutorial video, we'll be learning more about HTML headings. In HTML, we have 6 types of headings. We have the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. The H1 signifies the important heading, and it's usually the biggest, while the H6 signifies the least important heading, and it's usually the smallest heading. So right here, I'm going to write a comment, and I'm going to have how to use HTML headings. So now, like I said, we have 6 types of headings, or we have 6 types of headers. We have the H1, H2, H3. So I'm going to type in the H1, and within the H1 tag, I'm going to include this is the biggest heading. Just outside it, on the new line, I'm going to have the H2, and I'm going to have the text. This is the this is the biggest heading. So inside the H2, I'm going to have this is the second biggest heading. So outside here, on the new line, I'm going to have the H3, and I'm going to have this is the third biggest heading or header. On the new line, I'm going to have the H4, and this is going to have the following text. This is the fourth biggest heading. Then here I'm going to have the H5. The H5 is going to be the fifth biggest heading. Then the last is going to be the H6. This is the least important heading. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go over to my browser here, and we will see how the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 tags actually look like. So if you want to create a text that is going to be, or you want to create a title, you use the H1 because it's the biggest. You can use the H2, you can use the H3, and of course you can use the H6. All you need to do is increase it using your CSS. So next we are going to move to how we can insert an image on our web page. How to insert an image on our web page. Sorry about that. So to include an image on our web page, we use the img tag. So when I type the img and I press enter, the text editor is going to auto-complete it by including 2 attributes called the src and another called the alt. So what the src means is source, the source where we are getting our image from, and this alt is an alternative text that will be displayed if our image cannot come up for a reason. And the reason why our image might not come up is if there's any typographical error, or the source of the image is broken. So for the src, I'm going to go over to my folder here. I'm going to go to the pictures. So here's the picture folder, and I have a picture. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this, and I will go to the introduction to web development. So now I'm inside the introduction to the web development folder we've created. So I'm going to create another folder inside by right clicking and going to the next. So I'm going to choose the folder here, and I'm going to call the folder img, and I'm going to paste the image that I've copied, which is the picture. So now that I've pasted the picture, I'm going to minimize it, and I'm going to go over to my Visual Studio Code. And when you look at the left hand side here, we have the img folder that we've created, and we have our index.html. The reason why I'm creating the img folder is that in HTML, it is a very good practice to have your image in another folder. So now the image is in the img folder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type the img, and I'm going to use a / followed by the picture name, and I'm going to press enter. So now our image has already been inserted. So inside the alt attribute, inside the alt double quotation, I'm going to have this is the developer's image. So if for any instance the image cannot be displayed correctly, or something came up this alternative text is going to be the one that will be displayed. So now when I save it and I go back to my web browser, I'm seeing my image here. Then we have numerous attributes we can use with our HTML tag, and we have different ways we can actually use them. So now that I have the image here, I might want to reduce the image. In order for me to reduce the image, I'm going to use the width attribute, and I'm going to use the height attribute. So now I will come back into my image folder here, and I'm going to use the attribute called width, and I'm going to provide a value of 200. Also, I will be reducing the height, and I'm going to type the height, and I'm going to use an height of 200. So let me save it and go back to my browser. Now that I've already saved it, we've seen that the image has already reduced to an height of 200 and also to a width of 200. When we proceed, we are going to see how we can actually provide some extra attributes to our image. And these attributes are not only applicable to the image tag. We can use them in our headers, we can use them in our links, we can use them in our images, and so on and so forth. So right here, I'm going to go back to the end, and I'm going to be showing you how to insert links in HTML. So what are links in HTML? Links allows us to navigate from one website or from one web page to another, and it's a very good it's a very good stuff that was introduced in Webpage, that is introduced in HTML, because this allows us to move from one particular web page to another. So now I'm going to be showing you how to insert links in HTML. To insert links, all you need to do is type in the A, and you press enter, and this is going to generate the auto completion for you. So now we have the href attribute. The href also is just like the src. It's going to ask you that, okay, what's this destination where you want the link to go when it is clicked. So now let's take, for example, now I want the link to go to YouTube. All I need to do is type http followed by column, and I'm going to have the / and I'm going to have the youtube.com. Then between the start tag of the a tag and the closing tag, I'm going to have some short text here. So the text is going to be go to YouTube. So the user is going to see the go to YouTube, but they're not going to see the link I'm providing at the end of it. It is when they click on this text, then they will be redirected to youtube.com. So now I'm going to press Ctrl S to save it, and so that it can appear on my web page. So now when I click on the go to YouTube, this is going to open it. It's going to open the YouTube web page, and we already seen how this actually looks like. So next we'll be seeing how to insert paragraphs in HTML. To insert paragraphs in HTML, we are going to be using the P letter. So I'm going to have how to insert paragraphs in HTML. To insert paragraphs in HTML, we are going to be using the P tag or the P letter. So any text wrapped between the start tag and the end tag is going to be treated as a paragraph. So I'm going to have this is a short paragraph. So when I click on the save, so let me go back here and go back to my web page. So let me come back here and save it. Okay, so now the paragraph is appearing, and we can have a long text for our paragraph. So let me create another paragraph again. So I'm going to have the P, and I'm going to have Lauren, and I'm going to press enter, and this is going to generate a very long paragraph text for us. So if you really enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and see you in the next tutorial video. Thank you.